Hi everyone, this is Nick Carlisle with Realty One Group. In this video, I want to tackle some of the questions I hear most often that all fall into the same category of buying a home. So here are my answers to the 5 most asked questions about how to prepare to buy a home. Well, the first question is probably the one I get asked most, and that's how much money do I need? Well, the days of needing 20% down payment are over. Most of my clients are putting a maximum of about 5% down right now. And the only situations I'm seeing them put more is if they have a lot of equity that they're rolling over from a previous home that they sold. So that's the high side of down payment. On the other end, I have a lot of clients putting as little as $0 towards their down payment. That's actually possible for a lot of people due to various assistance programs, grants, and certain loan types like VA and USDA. Now that down payment number doesn't include some other costs like appraisal and home inspection. So overall, for your bottom line, if you have $1,000 in your bank account ready to go right now, you can probably buy a home, because outside of that number, there's plenty of other options to cover the other costs. Well, the second question I get asked a lot is, what credit score do I need? Well, the short answer to this is the bare minimum score you can get away with is going to be a 580, and that's just barely going to qualify you for a couple of loan programs. If you can get up to a 620, a couple more options open up to you. A 640 or higher is really where you want to be. That's where you start to qualify for down payment assistance programs and some other unique products that could be really helpful. If you can get to a 720 or higher though, you're really not going to be limited as to what loan programs you can qualify for. Now, if you need to do some work on your credit score, I did do a video a little while ago about what makes up your credit score to explain that and kind of give some helpful tips along the way. The basics of it are pay everything on time, pay down your credit card balances, and try to make sure you don't have any negative reporting accounts. Well, the third question I get asked a lot is, how much income do I need? And there really is no set answer for this unless you have a specific home price in mind. But if you're concerned about trying to qualify for the most amount possible, then you want to manage something called your debt to income ratio. And what that is really just a comparison of your monthly recorded debt payments compared to your total monthly income. The lower this ratio, the better off you're going to be. So if you want to maximize your home purchasing power, you want to minimize your reporting monthly debt payments, and that's things like car payments and credit card payments. Well, the fourth question I hear a lot is, how long do I need to be at the same job? Some people seem to think that you have to work the same job for years and years before you can qualify for a home, and that's just not the case at all. Now, if you get paid largely in cash, or if you own your own business, then you'll probably need at least 1 year of tax returns in order to qualify for a lot of home loans. But if you work a full-time hourly or salaried job, and you've been there at least 1 month, then you'll be able to qualify for most loan programs, including options like down payment assistance. And the fifth question I'm asked about how to prepare to purchase a home is, how long does this process take? And again, there's no one answer here, but let me give you a general idea of the timeline. Assuming you already have your financing in place, the home shopping portion is usually the longer piece of this. So on average, I usually show clients between 20 and 30 homes before they make their final decision. Now that varies wildly. I've shown as little as 1 home and as many as 75 to a single client. But sticking to averages, this process usually takes about a month, maybe more, depending on how picky you are and the current market conditions. So once we find the right home for you, we're going to enter into the escrow process. And that's about a 30-day period, give or take. And once we reach the end of that 30-day period, you'll get the keys to your new home. So I usually recommend budgeting about 2 months for the whole process, start to finish, not including financing. Now, if you get the green light on financing, you can get pre-approved in just a couple of hours. But if you find out you have some things you need to work on, that can take 6 months, maybe even more, depending on what those things are. So if you're thinking about moving in the next 6 months, let's start a conversation sooner rather than later. I can give you a really good idea on what you might need to work on, and also give you a really specific timeline based on your situation. Well, as always, if you have any questions that I didn't cover here, or if you want to talk about real estate at all, please get in touch with me. My goal in real estate is to serve, to educate, and to love my clients throughout the real estate process. So let me know how I can be a resource for you. And if you know somebody who's thinking about moving, please consider letting them know that I would be delighted to serve them. And thanks so much for watching.